We get rolling on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel, Football 24/7. It is game day with NFL insider John McMullen, who is down at Lincoln Financial Field here on the JAKIB Media Network for our pregame show. Inactives just posted, Johnny Mac. Let's get everybody up to date. Get everybody up to date on the inactives, and then a couple of players on the 53-man for the Eagles. Let's start there.
Well, I think we already knew J.J. Arcega-Whiteside was going to be down. Not really much news with the inactives other than all the recently acquired young cornerbacks. Tay Gowan is down. Gary Vincent is down. They're not going to be dressed, obviously. Josiah Scott, if you want to add him into the mix, and Mac McCain. So most of the inactive list is those young corners. What that means, though, is that Tyree Jackson is going to be active and going to be playing for the first time. That might be a bit exciting for Eagles fans. There's been a lot of hype about him. He just got activated off the designated to return list. The Eagles used most of the time they had, the 21 days. He'll be up for the first time. And then John Hightower elevated from the practice squad because of that J.J. Arcega-Whiteside injury. So he's going to play for the first time this season. And then the guys who were banged up in Detroit last week, Jalen Reagor's a go. Jack Driscoll is a go, as Nick Sirianni said at his press conference on Friday. So Eagles are pretty healthy, all things considered. And obviously Jordan Howard is the other practice squad elevation for the second consecutive week. So the running attack is going to look similar to what it looked like against the Lions with Boston Scott and Jordan Howard and Kenny Gainwell.
Johnny Mac, we had such a raucous night on Thursday night out at Screwballs. I'm telling you, this fan base is fired up for this second half of the season. Say what you want about the win last week over the opponent and classify the opponent any way that you like. Sometimes a good win is all you need to feel good about getting into the next game. And our hope is, from a fan perspective, that translates not only to this football team, but also to head coach Nick Sirianni, who would love, I'm sure, to get his first win in front of the home crowd.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you think about the Eagles and their history and really their recent history, typically a dominant team, certainly in the Doug Peterson era at Lincoln Financial Field. That hasn't carried over, at least early in the season. Have not been able to win. All three Eagles wins are on the road so far this season. So they lost to San Francisco, Kansas City, Tampa Bay. Now, Kansas City, Tampa Bay obviously are the two Super Bowl teams from February. So that's not exactly easy opponents. But if you want to be fair, Kansas City's not playing up to the level most people expected. San Francisco as well. So what looked tougher at the beginning of the season maybe doesn't look as tough right now. So the Eagles got to find a way to win a game at Lincoln Financial Field by hook or by crook, as they say. No matter how you do it, you got to find a way to do it. And the Chargers are a good team, but they're not a great team. And they have another opportunity to do so.
Assume, Johnny Mac, that it might come down to the Eagles defense or the Chargers defense in terms of factoring in or determining the outcome of this football game. And if you compare the two, you put the check in the box under your Philadelphia Eagles, do you not?
I don't know if I can go that far. I mean, both units have struggled at times, and the Chargers obviously don't stop the run well, and that matches up well in theory from what the Eagles do well, which is run the football. On the other hand, the Chargers are kind of banged up on the back end, and you have to wonder if you go all the way back to that 49ers game and say, um, they had some cornerback issues and the Eagles tried to throw the football. I'm not sure that's the plan for success for this particular team, this particular Eagles team at this particular time. So if you want to look at it from Eagles offense versus Chargers defense, which is what you should do, and vice versa, Justin Herbert is a young star quarterback in this league. So he's dangerous, and you're going to have to find a way to stop him. And I think the most interesting part of this game, from a game plan perspective, is how does Jonathan Gannon try to do that? We've talked a lot about the Eagles predominantly cover 2 defense. Didn't work against veteran quarterbacks, but this is a very young quarterback. Maybe it does work against him because young quarterbacks tend to press a little bit more quickly and get a little impatient versus veteran quarterbacks.
John McMullen reporting here across the JAKIB Media YouTube channel, live, of course, from inside the Linc, all presented by Stateside Vodka. We'll see Johnny at halftime for a quick update, and then, of course, on the live post-game show right here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel, also on 6abc.com. Johnny Mac, what's the mood inside Lincoln Financial Field in terms of warm-ups, in terms of feel, in terms of temperature? The lights are on. What's it like down there at the stadium?
Well, it's a nice day. Obviously, it's cool. Anybody's been here in the Delaware Valley, but it's good football weather. Obviously, afternoon games at Lincoln Financial Field, if anybody's tried to do it, I think there's been a day-long traffic jam. And I'm actually looking out on the 95, people trying to get in the Lincoln Financial Field. Remember, they don't let fans in this early. So everybody's just outside having a good time tailgating. But it's great football weather. And I don't think that's going to affect anyone. If anything, maybe you would like it a little bit colder for the Chargers and what they're used to. But I don't think that's going to be a big part of things today. So should have an even playing field and on a nice day, and the best team should win this football game.
And Johnny Mac, I'm trying to plan, project, or anticipate what the Eagles' offense is going to do today. And I go back to that first 7 plays or the first 15 plays. I don't even know if there's any plays that are scripted, on script, off script. I'm not even sure, after the first 8 games. But how do you expect this offense to come out when they do have their first possession of the football?
Yeah, I expect them to come out running the football. I think they've gotten to that point where they realize that they're best at doing that. Now, a lot of that is RPO driven, and a lot of that is reading what the defense is doing. But when you talk about the Chargers and the fact that they're the 32nd ranked team against the run, and the Eagles are coming off such a successful game where they were able to run the football, I think you got to keep going with it until they stop it. My biggest concern, as I kind of alluded to earlier, is the Chargers are a little bit banged up on the back end. And, sometimes you get a little too smart. Sometimes you start to think a little bit too much and start saying, well, we can take advantage of this. And you take away from what you do well. In other words, Nick Sirianni talks a lot about we have to do what we do well, regardless of an opponent. And I think he should heed his own advice and not worry about injuries and just do what the Eagles do well. Right now, that's running the football.
A lot of eyeballs, a lot of pressure, a lot of anticipation, of course, from Jalen Hurts. Johnny Mac, I know I've asked you this before. Watching Lamar Jackson on NFL Mic'd Up, and I think he was talking to wide receiver Marquise Brown on the sidelines. And his comment was, hey, sometimes, and I'm paraphrasing, but these words did come out from Lamar, Hey, sometimes you just got to play street ball, and I'm wondering if Jalen and Devontae will get in some sort of an unscripted process today to try and get Devontae going early in this football game.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you do. I was just, watching Red Zone before I got on here, and Lamar Jackson just threw one up at the end of the half. Baltimore was struggling. They get a big pass interference call. They get a touchdown right before the half, and they're right back in the football game. So sometimes that kind of stuff works out. Look, I think the Eagles want to get Devontae Smith more involved, but I don't think it's about one player. I think it's about winning a football game. And right now, the Eagles don't throw the football all that well, and certainly not all that consistently. So that's kind of what I was talking about. Don't force things. Devontae Smith's going to have a long career. He'll be able to do things down the road. Right now, they're not equipped to throw the football in a high volume type of way. So just accept it and do what you do best.
I know you mentioned Tyree Jackson. How will they get the football to Tyree Jackson? How will they utilize him today?
Well, remember, I mean, this is a very young player who I don't think he's going to play a lot by any stretch of the imagination. Now, maybe they put a play or two in for him. He's very athletic, but he is a developmental project. I mean, it's not like you should expect him to play 80% of the time. Dallas Goedert is playing very good football ever since they traded Zach Ertz. Jack Stoll is still going to be the backup tight end, but they might have a player or two in there to take advantage of Tyree Jackson's athleticism. But I wouldn't expect him to play a lot. He's a developmental player. They just are excited about his long-term ability and his ceiling as a player. That doesn't mean Sunday against the Los Angeles Chargers. Same thing. It's gonna take a while, but this is the first step after obviously a great training camp was derailed by a stress fracture in his back.
Football 24/7 with NFL insider John McMullen here live reporting from down at Lincoln Financial Field. The NFL, of course, all week long, and of course on Football Sunday today, saluting the men and women of the military. That will continue down at Lincoln Financial Field. The crew from Fox today was in Annapolis at the Naval Academy. Great pregame from down there, and of course, all of those festivities and the salute to the military will continue all week leading up here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel, leading right into Veterans Day on Thursday. Johnny Mac, couple of final thoughts from you before I let you get back to work down at the Linc in terms of your pregame. In terms of your pregame work that you do, what's the key bullet point, John, that we need to happen? So we're not only in this football game, but we have the edge in this football game. How does it need to play out?
Sorry, are you there, Krause?
Yeah, I've got you. Yeah, dropped you off there, Johnny Mac. A couple things before I let you go. I know it's tight down there. Just looking for your thoughts. Your thought on what we need to see happen so we know this football team, meaning the Eagles, have the edge right now in this game. The guts of the game, John. I want the Eagles to own the guts of the game. What do they need to do?
Well, I think you need to take it. You need to keep the football away from Justin Herbert. This is a quarterback that, if he gets really, really hot, can put up some big numbers. And I mean, I'm talking really big numbers. He can really sling the football. So I think it's one of those situations where we talked about it a lot earlier this season, whether the Eagles were playing Kansas City or Tampa Bay. This is not a team they probably want to get into a shootout with. So I think you look at it from the standpoint of the Eagles running the football, and that's why I brought that up against the 32nd ranked run defense in the NFL. That accomplishes two things. It not only helps you move the football, but it keeps the football away from Justin Herbert. So if you start seeing him slinging the football all over the place. And all of a sudden, you're talking about a 350-yard day, which he's capable of. Then you know you're probably in trouble.
Well, Johnny Mac, as we do this live report here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel, the Broncos have extended their lead to 19-0 over the 6-1 Dallas Cowboys, proving your theory, or many theories, that many people believe on any given Sunday, brother. You just never know how it's going to play out.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it all the time. It's not college football. I mean, anybody in this league can beat you if you don't bring your A game on a particular game day. And that's why this is such an important game for the Eagles. As I said, they have to find a way to win a football game at Lincoln Financial Field. And then if you can win this football game, you know, people have laughed about starting to talk about playoffs. Well, entering today's game, Carolina would be that last team on the NFC side. They came in today 4-4, one game ahead of the Eagles, and the Eagles beat Carolina. So that's how close. And even though things have looked ugly in the first half of the season, plenty of time for the Eagles to sort of right the ship.
All right, good stuff from John McMullen. We'll check in and we'll effort getting an update from you at halftime. And then, of course, we'll see you tonight on the live post-game show with Derek Gunn, Mark Farzetta, Devin Caney, and, of course, yours truly, John McMullen, reporting all of the conversation from inside the locker room. We'll get that from John McMullen after the Eagles defeat the Chargers today down at the Linc. Johnny Mac, great stuff, brother.
All right, thanks, Trousey.
All right, good stuff from John McMullen reporting live from down at Lincoln Financial Field. His live update and his live report, all presented by Stateside Vodka. Go to statesidevodka.com. Remember to use that promo code JAKIB as you watch it scroll across the bottom of the screen. For 15% off of the Stateside Vodka soda. If you live in Pennsylvania, they'll deliver right to your front door. As mentioned, we will be back at halftime with John McMullen. We'll get an inside look at how the first half played out. And then again, live game show up at the very end of the game. The Eagles 3-5, looking to move to 4-5. The Chargers come in 4-3. We want to send them the hell out of here at 4-4. We thank everybody, of course, for being a part of the JAKIB Media YouTube network. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you at halftime, everybody.